For the final time, we welcome you to Drake's Big Blue Bahamas. Today, from the Baha Mar Grand Ballroom, it's the Bahamas select team taking on the Kentucky Wildcats as Kentucky finishes its trip in paradise. And with that, we welcome courtside Tom Hart alongside Dane Bradshaw. What a weekend it has been. On the court, it has been perfection for this Kentucky basketball team.
Yeah, not so much who they've beaten, but how they've beaten them. The Wildcats have been phenomenal. Some things we expected to see, others not so much. But let's start with the point of emphasis this season for Coach Cal, and that is rim protection. And they have been phenomenal in that regard. I mean, just look at the wingspan, but the timing and the effort. You talk about rim protection, you got it. And then the speed of this Kentucky team is absolutely elite. They track their sprints, no plays off. They push the tempo. The transition buckets, make or miss, it doesn't matter. They are coming and pushing it down your throat. But the biggest and most pleasant surprise for Wildcat fans has to be the three-point shooting. That was probably the question mark coming in. And collectively, they are shooting at a 40% rate from beyond the arc, gaining a lot of confidence from the three-point line.
The numbers are like video game numbers. They expected, I think, a little bit better competition than this, and they have played a little bit better than some have expected. Scoring margin, cumulative, well, nearly 60 points a game. 7 in double figures. Kentucky's trailed for only 24 seconds. And this is the starting five that it looks like John Calipari would have out there to start the season if it began today. And it's got 2 point guards in there with Xavier Wheeler and Case and Wallace in the backcourt together. Damian Collins and Jacob Toppin on the front line, and Oscar manning the middle. It's a Kentucky team that has blown away all of their competition, and Oscar Tshiebwe has been pedestrian this week.
Which I think is a good thing for Kentucky fans because of the others being able to develop their game, get some confidence. And this is just a scary lineup when you look at the length, the athleticism, and the speed. And defensively, there is no weakness on the court.
Numerically, that's a Kentucky starting lineup brought to you by Geddes Pools. Damian Collins and Toppin have played a tremendous brand of basketball this week. Oscar with the block. And here's Jacob Toppin running the floor. Have a sit down with Oscar at halftime. I think fans always love to hear from him, and you'll hear his insight on why he returned to Kentucky and what some of his goals are for the year. How do you like the black unis?
I like them, but more importantly, I asked the players before the game, a couple, and they said, I like them. The shorts are just a little bit too big for me.
Oh, okay. That's why Jacob Toppin's got him tucked under. It's a Bahamas select team that has kind of a different roster put together. They played a bunch of games over the last couple of weeks against college teams as Wheeler throws one in. So Kentucky coming into this one a trail for just 24 seconds all week.
Well, and it came on a bad closeout by Toppin, something you haven't said much of at all. I think to compliment this Kentucky team, they have not played down to their competition. Wow. Nor have they played the scoreboard. Whether it's start of the game, end of the game, they're making plays like that for 40 minutes.
So Kentucky in front. Tshiebwe averaging a double-double, go figure. So this is a Bahamian select team that added a guy at the last minute. They've really been rotating some guys through. Collins running the floor. And they got some former college players, TCU, Wichita State, among other spots. But Kentucky putting together a mini run here to get things started.
And that's where you love having this dual point guard lineup. It's not just Wheeler that can push the fast break, but also Wallace. And the way these bigs can run, we just saw Collins score, and here's Tshiebwe. I mean, these bigs can outrun many opposing guards. I mean, they are that fast up and down the court.
So this Bahamas team, as I mentioned a moment ago, has played a handful of teams lately. NC State, App, Fordham. They also played Ohio State last week. The difference is they've rotated a bunch of different guys through their roster. So there's really only 3 guys that have been consistent players on this Bahamian team. They also played Ole Miss a couple of weeks ago, and that was all the film that Kentucky guys were able to find. Their star is number 11, Keno Burrows. He's the captain and 10 years on the national team. They got those 3 main players from the national team. A wide range of age on this. You got a 16-year-old that might see some time tonight. And the guy that was just added is 35.
And we have a foul call on the play. That's number 0, Jacob Toppin.
Toppin commits the foul. Cats trailed now on a 6-0 run. Oscar gambled on the inbound. Whoa.
We've seen a few defensive breakdowns so far for Kentucky. They've been almost flawless in the first few games, but here's Tshiebwe with a little bit of a gamble play you can't make against a better opponent. A couple other back cuts that have happened, allowing the defender to get an opening. So not the sharpest we've seen Kentucky's defense.
This is Kadeem Colby. He's played against Kentucky before. He was on that undefeated Wichita State team that lost to Kentucky in the Elite 8 in 2014. Plays overseas in Japan now. He started every game that season for that loaded Shocker team.
Yeah, he's probably still better about that selection committee seeding for Wichita State.
35-1 that year. Oscar on the glass. Severe put him in spin mode. Oh, Collins lost the handle.
Wheeler's gotten so good with that ball screen. I mean, he's going to try to get to the screen, but if you cut him off and try to force him away from the screen, he just has that quick spin. Nobody can keep number 2 out of the lane.
Dang, this kind of has the feeling of like a major league schedule, like a day game after a night game. Maybe you understand if some guys a little sluggish out there.
Such as play-by-play. A little bit of a night game for you last night with early.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think a little bit of fatigue, and it hadn't just been, playing. They've had a full itinerary. They had the Samaritan's Feet. They had a little basketball clinic. These Wildcats have had a lot going on, even if it's been a lot of fun and entertainment. Long trip for them, though.
Well, Toppin had a great game last night. 27 points in 21 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he shot the cover off the ball. I mean, the only 2 guys we hadn't seen really shoot it from deep. Xavier Wheeler making plays like that. The only thing he hasn't done is shoot the ball extremely well from beyond the arc. And Tshiebwe, only a couple of attempts. But they don't need those guys to be great 3-point shooters if the other guys can shoot the way they have.
Antonio Reeves hit 4 threes yesterday. Soon we'll see him in the second 5. CJ Frederick is not available today. They're going to rest him, and we'll get a chance to hang out with him a little bit at the broadcast booth as he try to take your job. I would have given him your job if you would have actually picked up my Starbucks.
Yeah. CJ's got a bright future in whatever he wants. The load management right now, and hopefully it's not at my detriment.
Wheeler, good hands. 4-on-1. Oof. Oscar for 3.
Nice move. A little in and out with the left, get past the big man. Easy off the glass. Bahamas hanging in there.
That's Dominic Bridgewater, is the first ever Bahamian to go straight from high school to the pros. Now plays overseas in France. Wallace got a step.
It's just going to be a good option for Kentucky all year long. Having him up there in that horns action where he can go either way off the screen. Such a veteran approach to the young man's game.
Beautiful pass. Toppin tried to erase it. And the Bahamas, as you mentioned, Dane, hanging in there. Cats just 45% from the floor so far, and turned it over a couple of times. Here in Paradise, Nassau in the Bahamas. And the Cats have doubled up on the Bahamas early. Basketball nearly perfect. Summer headlines for the Cats. That open practice to raise more than $3.5 million to Kentucky flood victims in eastern Kentucky. Home and home with Gonzaga, starting with a trip to Spokane later this year. Don Yenso will be on the roster when the Cats get back. And it started with a statewide tour to raise money for tornado victims in western Kentucky. Bahamas dunk, and they're hanging in there. And Zane Knowles.
Kentucky just not guarding the ball well. They're not guarding their man off the ball very well. Just a little bit sloppy on the defensive end.
Three-ball Reeves.
He's a good player. What an addition he's going to be for this Kentucky team. He caught fire last night.
Leno
Tshiebwe coaching him up today. Coached the team in the win against his former squad, the Dominican Republic, to start this trip. Collins with the pull-up. That's a shot he's really been working on this summer, but left that one short. And committed the foul trying to get back.
I think offensively what you're seeing is Kentucky being a little bit stagnant. I mean, Coach Cal has preached to them how he wants them to make that quick decision. When you catch the ball, either pass, shoot, dribble right away, holding it a little bit too much on that end of the court.
There's Keno Burrows, 10 years on the Bahamian national team. Veteran on this squad. Marty McGee continue to get set for college football season. Their annual sit-downs with every SEC head coach. Monday, he'll talk with Mark Stoops and the rest of the coaches in the East. And Tuesday, they'll talk with the West. Talking season starts 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, both nights, right here on the SEC Network.
This Bahamas team doing a nice job of getting back in transition. I think Kentucky's going to see a lot of that this year, where people do not attack the offensive glass. They just send everybody back to try to contain the transition game of Kentucky.
10-9 Cats with the early lead. Xavier Wheeler at the free throw line. He wears number 2. You know who's not 2 anymore? Cooper Woolard. Celebrating his 3rd birthday today back in Lexington with little brother in the house too. Happy birthday, Cooper. Big day for you.
Nice. It gets so much easier when they turn 3. I promise. A walk in the park.
That's right. I bet Cooper's going to have a big, big day. Casey Wallace back on the floor for Kentucky. By the way, before the game today, did you see what Cal did? He grabbed the mic and asked the fans a question. He said, with the 2 kids who have to miss school and want an excuse note written, please come down to the floor. And they rushed over. And John Calipari wrote them a note to excuse their absence from school tomorrow. Sorry, we were in the Bahamas.
All of a sudden, the line got a little bit longer than just 2.
This Bahamas select team playing with great energy. And after the steal, a turnover on the travel.
And they've had a few turnovers, but not many live ball turnovers. Again, Kentucky has not been able to really get the pace that they've wanted so far. No real rhythm or flow to this game for the Wildcats.
Wow, Wallace with the post up and the kick out. There's Livingston.
Well, and that's something you can get when Wallace is at the 1 there, even if Wheeler's in the game with him. But in this case, when he's the primary ball handler, you can run those type of plays.
Wow. Woo. No defense on that. Slice down the lane by Kenjuan Smith. Played his college ball at Stetson.
You got to guard the ball, and then you got to rotate over. They just didn't do it.
Here's Livingston again. Dare I say that the Bahamas hanging with Kentucky for a quarter or maybe a half might be exactly what John Calipari wants.
Yeah, it's been the most competitive basketball we've seen on this trip. I think it's good. As we mentioned yesterday, the only thing that they hadn't really been able to get themselves tested on is any adversity to the team, and just a little bit of it right now.
It's a 1-point game. Toppin for 3. And Cal is always looking for motivating factors, and if they continue to play a little bit sloppy and inefficient, well, that'd be a great motivator going into their next time on the floor.
And the wake-up call of, hey, it's no coincidence that your offense is struggling when your defense is struggling. And there you go. You get a live ball turnover, you get the pressure, guess what? You get an easy 2.
Deep 3. And it's buried, and we got a tie game. That one coming from Dominic Bridgewater.
It's a couple times now where Kentucky's had those short closeouts, which Coach Cal is okay with given their length, but you can't have your hands down. You got to still contest high quickly.
Reeves draws the foul on the baseline drive. Bahamas team is hit 3 of 5 from deep, just 1 of 8 from Kentucky. Cats a little sloppy here early on, trying to find some rhythm. There's Livingston with a 3 on one side, and on the other, the answer from Dominic Bridgewater. 9 minutes in, we're tied. I know you've only been around Cal a little bit, but have you picked up on his mannerisms yet? I mean, can you guys impersonate him? Is there any phrase that he uses repetitively that you've already picked up on?
Go, go, go. He yells that a lot. He wants us to play like super fast. So every time we get the ball on a rebound or on a break, you know, he's just yelling at us, telling us to go, and he says that a lot for sure.
It's pretty simple, right? And then in practice, he sees something he doesn't like. It's stop.
Yeah.
Stop. And then in game, it's go, go. Yeah. Y'all have already learned. You're like seniors out there. Those are the 2 freshmen, Chris Livingston and Wallace. I always feel like, Dane, that freshmen need to learn the speed of college basketball, but there's also a learning curve in learning John Calipari because of the demands that he puts on these guys.
Yes, but he's gotten more patient over the years, I think, as well. And I think one of the things I've heard him say over and over again in practice is, hey, guys, when I'm talking to one of you, I'm talking to all of you. I shouldn't have to reteach this drill the next time a new player comes up. Learn from each other's mistakes. I think they've done a nice job of that early on.
Those guys had a lot of fun when we did the sit-down interview with them, and Livingston was unaware that they'd played against each other on the circuit, topping off the mark. And Casey said, how'd you forget? I hit the game-winning 3 at the buzzer.
Houston hoops. Casey Wallace. He was like, yeah, I remember you. You don't remember me? I was the one that made the game winner. He said, that's you.
Livingston was a top 5 recruit in that class, and then even as others reclassified, his recruiting ranking dropped just a little bit. Lost the handle on that one.
Well, good job by Ware creating that turnover. Good positioning, leading to a little bit of a sloppy but productive fast break.
Ware over there to help, but no weak side. And the putback put in by Zane Knowles. Played at Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Now plays overseas in Bulgaria.
Well, and that rotation was forced because Wallace got clipped on that screen. He's got to try to get skinny and get over the top of that.
How do you recommend that? Weight Watchers?
Well, you kind of have to slide your way through over the top, not run sideways.
That guy can run.
And that's the best athlete on the court, man. I mean, he's just absolutely phenomenal with his vertical leap.
Bahamas select team has made 4 of its last 5 shots. They're shooting 62% from the floor. And Ware with the push and a foul inside.
Well, here's Toppin, just get out and go, and you can forget about it from there. Terrific job running the court, their advanced passes. I mean, whoever gets the ball is looking ahead, expecting somebody to fill the lanes. I thought it was interesting, you know, they grade and track the sprints in a game, whether you get an A for a sprint, a B, C, D, or F. And so there's that accountability by the bench in the film room on just how well the team is individually and as a team running the court.
His first personal.
Wheeler commits the foul.
Going to the line, shooting 2 for the Bahamas. Number 3, Jackson.
This is Jackson Jacobs. Plays in a local league, 5'10" guard. Bahamas team has a little bit more depth, I think, than we saw from some of the other teams so far. Monday night, the SEC Now crew will have reactions to the release of the top 25 college football poll. And that same night, Marty McGee sit down with Florida quarterback Anthony Richardson. It's SEC Now Monday at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app.
Tie game, didn't expect this, huh?
Dude.
Bahamas shooting over 60%. Meanwhile, Kentucky under 40, just 1 of 9 from 3. So where do they go? What's their stop the bleeding type play with all this talent?
Good at the preseason, or last year's player of the year, and Oscar puts it off the glass. It's a pretty good option to
That is, yeah. Go back to your bread and butter. Everybody's gotten better. Got a lot of newcomers. Don't forget about the National Player of the Year, Oscar Tshiebwe.
Wow, what an answer by Kadeem Colby.
And just nice body control there. Little pump fake, got Tshiebwe in the air just enough to draw the contact and the foul and the score.
Colby, the former Shocker, playing overseas in Japan. Finished his college career in 2014 and couldn't give the Bahamas a lead. And a Kentucky turnover.
I think they got it up the court as quick as they wanted to, but again, the Bahamas doing a nice job being set all the way back, mitigating that transition game.
Checking in now for the Wildcats is number 3, Adu.
Livingston gets a breather. Adu enters.
Oh, golly. Oh, man, what a vertical.
Foul called on number 22.
I mean, you catch this ball right here, you're thinking jump hook. No, sir, just boom. I'm trying to dunk on everybody.
First personal going to the line, shooting 1, number 14, Colby.
So it's Colby again. Gives the Bahamas the lead now, trying to extend it. And he does just that. Now they got size on Wheeler.
And he recognizes that. He's telling everybody, push down. Let me take him off the bounce.
Thought about J.R. Cadat, who played his college ball at TCU. Oscar outside. Wallace ended up on his backside. We got a 3-point lead for the Bahamas. Not a great start for this Kentucky team. We'll get some player insight about that. C.J. Frederick's going to come over and sit down on the broadcast with us in just a moment. Bahamas with a 3-point lead on Kentucky here in the finale of this 4-game swing through Bahamas. Drake's Big Blue Bahamas continues. Tom Hart, Dane Bradshaw. We got C.J. Frederick over here. You're just taking the day off. We got some load management going on.
Yeah, like I said, the training staff's been super, cautious with me. I only started practicing like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
So just to be out here playing the last 3 days is a win for me. So they're just being cautious, and that was the whole plan coming in. I wasn't going to play the last day.
What's the next step for you in just getting back to full speed?
Yeah, it's just the next couple months of practice are going to be big for me. Competing more 5-on-5, getting up and down, shooting the basketball with defenders coming at me and being able to read in-game situations, that's going to be the next step for me.
What the heck's going on right now? What's your assessment?
We're going to be all right. It's a 12 o'clock game. We've played 3 games. We're gonna shake the rust off. We're gonna be all right.
Day game following a night game.
Yep.
The legs.
Quick turnaround.
Yep. This is a Bahamas team that's got some veterans on it. These guys have been around a little bit. They played major college ball, and now playing overseas, a good bunch of them. And how much do you guys know about these teams this week from a scouting report process and a film process?
Yeah, it's not a usual preparation for us. We get about the night before, we get about maybe 20 minutes, like a little run through of what we're gonna see. And coach told us that this is gonna be a veteran type team. You know, it wasn't gonna be a game we could come out and just that they were gonna hand over to us. So it's a good one for us.
And CJ, there's a lot of teams that are going to try to mitigate your speed, slow the game down. What is coach and the rest of the staff's message in the huddle about getting the tempo the way you guys want?
Yeah, it's a huge emphasis so far in this tournament is turning our defense into offense, because right now our best offense is in transition. You know, we're not showing all of our stuff. We're just running a couple sets and we're just playing off of each other. But our defense is gonna start our offense.
What's usually the process with Cal? I mean, you've obviously been around now for year number 2 in terms of the install and growing within the scope of the offense as preseason and then the season continues.
Yeah, you know, Cal's pretty. His head is everywhere all the time. You know, he's always thinking about new stuff, thinking about how he's gonna make our team better. And right now our thing has just been, like I said, making sure our defense is the best it can be, and that's going to turn into our transition offense. And we're doing a lot right now with, you know, floppy action coming off ball screens, waves, pin downs. So, you know, it's still early. It's still August. We're going to figure some things out.
I feel like watching practice in the past, it's kind of like you start with a basic set, and then he adds to it and adjusts it based on strengths, weaknesses of your team and the others. That, from a layman's view, is that accurate?
Yes, absolutely.
No panic right now, of course, but with all the personalities on the team, who do you kind of expect to be the voice in the huddle? Like, simulate this into, say, a conference game where things aren't going your way. Who's some of the 1 or 2 bigger voices inside the huddle, outside the coaches?
I consider myself one of the voices, just because I've played a lot of games. Xavier, definitely. You know, he's our point guard. He's our leader. You know, I think Jacob has definitely taken a huge leap in the leadership role this year.
Xavier Wheeler going to the free throw line. Walk us through what his game is like. How would you describe it?
You know, he's so electric. You know, he's the one that starts it on defense, picking up 94. You know, a prime example was yesterday, the Canadian team we played, their best player was their point guard, and he just got worn out. You know, Xavier was picking him up, and he was making him fight and work for everything. So as your point guard, he's picking up 94, and he's also controlling tempo, controlling pace of the game, can get in the lane. He's shooting the ball really well so far. So that's our floor general.
Yeah, with Wheeler, you know, it's always about advanced passes to get the ball up the court. But he's so fast, sometimes it's just as productive for him to keep the ball in his hands as opposed to advanced passes. Is he the fastest player you've ever played with?
Oh, without a doubt. You know, that's why a lot of teams don't press us, because he'll just one ball screen up at the top and he'll go right by. He'll just get a layup. It's unreal. He'll be down there 2 seconds.
There's Kobe back at the free throw line. He's a Texas native and played a few different stops, junior college and then Louisiana Lafayette before finishing at Wichita State with that fantastic team. This guy's having a pretty good game so far.
All right, let's have a little slice of humble pie here. In practice, you're a little bit more nervous if you got to guard Wheeler when he's pushing it up, or if there's a lob and you know Damian Collins is right behind you on defense.
I'm going to definitely have to say the lob, just because that's not going to look pretty. Like, if Xavier blows by me, at least I can hustle up, and try to get back, and one of my teammates can help me out. But trying to be behind the Damian lob, there's no help there.
Yeah, he's a human pogo stick, man.
Absolutely.
He's incredible.
Yes, he is.
There's the arrow in the lane. We were talking earlier before you sat down when freshmen come into John Calipari's program, there's not just the learning curve of major college basketball, but there's also, wow, that's a wild shot that goes, but there's also the learning curve of learning how John Calipari motivates his team on a daily or weekly basis. What kind of advice, Darrow, now can you give to these freshmen, having been in the program for a year, how to handle and manage his coaching style?
Yeah, you know, first I think our freshmen have done a terrific job so far, stepping in. You know, Coach tells people all the time that playing at the University of Kentucky is not easy. And when I was a freshman, I had to redshirt. The game was a little fast. I had to take a year off. I mean, these dudes are coming in 17 years old, and they're stepping in right away. So the best advice I would give them is just to handle every day like a pro. I mean, they're at a young age, and it's tough, but they're doing a great job. Handle every day like a pro. Take care of your work, and good things will come.
How do you feel this team might be a little better suited for March than last year? I know there was an injury bug and things of that nature, but you've had the benefit of seeing last year's team in August and this year's team in August. What stands out?
I would definitely say the rim protection and the defensive end right now. You know, there's not a lot of easy shots at the rim on us. You're having Damian, Oscar, Lance, Jacob contesting every shot. Our guards are keeping people in front of them right now. So the next step will just be, you know, cleaning up the ball screen coverages and the weak side help and not staring at the ball. That stuff will come. But I think the athleticism and the defensive end is what's going to take us further.
I think this will be fascinating for people to learn. What happens in a huddle like this? How specific are the messages from the coaching staff in terms of X's and O's and executing?
It's very specific. You know, coaches are doing a great job. A lot of it is defense. Right now, there's not much worry on offense. It's just sharing the ball and making plays for each other. But their emphasis is definitely on defense. So all the timeouts right now, going over defense and how can we improve on the defensive end.
Where's your favorite spot on the court to shoot? Is it the corner three, a dribble handoff off the bounce? Got a preference?
I like the two slots, like between the left wing, left slot, right wing, right slot. Those are definitely my favorite.
Coming off a pin down or kind of transition?
I like both.
Yeah,
I like both. Nice, JT.
Well, you mentioned Tom out of the huddle, a design play.
Yep.
Let Toppin go to his left, rise
Absolutely.
up. I mean, that's really an unguardable shot,
Absolutely.
right? I mean, with his high
He's been working on that floater all the time, so.
5-on-4 for the Cats.
Knock it down, Tone. Good shot.
Sevier lost the handle on it. Bahamas up by a half dozen. This is a veteran Bahamas team, and that's Burrows stuck with it.
As a color analyst, you can't say we, but we'll make an exception for you here. You are the we. So what do you think of your boys pull up here?
I love it. He works on that every day, and at 6'9", to be able to stop right there and to raise up over someone, that's going to be a tough shot for anybody to be able to guard.
It almost seemed yesterday, after every shot, he was looking up at Cal, like mean mugging, like rising up to whatever challenge is coming from the coaching staff.
Yep, that's just who he is. You know, when he gets in a little groove, he's just out there.
I'll ask you the same question I asked Antonio yesterday. If you're at the free throw line, you're getting orders from Cal over here in the stands, or you're getting orders from Coach Antigua, who you looking to
Cal.
first? Smart man.
Cal.
What's Antonio's game like?
He's a three-level scorer. And you're seeing exactly in these games, you know, what he can do. He can shoot the ball. He can make plays off the bounce, make plays for others. So he's going to be huge for us this season.
What's the competition like when you guys get in the gym?
Tell people every day we're playing against the best players in the country every day in practice. So that's great for me, just me getting back playing. I'm going to be able to play against really good guys that are going to help me get to where I need to be by November. So it's awesome.
Who's the best trash talker?
I would say Lance. Definitely Lance.
He's running his mouth the most, huh?
Yes.
I love the aggressiveness by Toppin there. I mean, that's something that maybe a year ago he didn't feel like his role, but now he's the stop the bleeding play.
Coach has been huge on that with him. Throw it up.
Cats trying to find some momentum. Here's Toppin, and he'll be at the free throw line when he returns. CJ, thanks, man. That was cool to hang out with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
You have a long playing career. I need you not to get in this business anytime soon.
Thank you, guys.
All right, go fix it in the huddle, all right?
I got you.
It's CJ Frederick, Cats down by 4. Back to the Bahamas right after this. Where's this pool? I didn't find this one.
Yeah, you were too busy at the ATM, just doubling down. There's a lot of pools here. There's a beach too, Tom. You just never really got outside.
I wasn't aware. The flag on my pool chair just kept going up. Well, you might be aware of Big Blue Bahamas history. The only loss came to Orlando Antigua, the Dominican team in 2014. And well, then next thing you know, the Cats started the next year 38-0. I feel like 4 games is just about perfect, but it really depends on your team's depth. And now they've got, you know, without CJ today, but they've got 10 guys that they're going to run.
Yeah, they'll pick it up here. It might be the second half where they got to wake up a little bit, but the early tip, 4th game, everybody's kind of thinking about getting home.
That didn't even hit the rim, man. Thought I was the only one that slept through my snooze.
Well, I think you made a great point earlier. The first of our trip, really. But Coach Cal's got to be happy with this in terms of, hey, give us some tests. Like, let us have to play through some of these mistakes and stick together and see how we can do stuff like this to make up for it.
Xavier finishes it off in a 1-point game.
Yeah, Wheeler gets a lot of assists, and when he's on those fast breaks like that, he's not throwing it off the glass or doing lobs. He's like, look, I'll give you all of the assists in the half court. I'm going to get my 2 right now.
Oscar finds a loose ball. Reeves. Cats starting to run now, and Kentucky reclaims the lead.
Well, it's the active hands, the deflections, creating the turnovers, and just in the blink of an eye, boom, big run by the Wildcats.
It's a 9-0 Kentucky run.
Well, CJ Frederick talked about it. Defense has to lead to offense, and that's exactly what they got here. Pushing the fast break. Nobody's going to beat Wheeler down the court. And then more active hands again. Kick it ahead. Reeves, nice little reverse finish.
Defense leads offense, huh? I feel like you've said that before.
CJ said it better.
My guy Fletcher. There's Philip Davis, Prime Minister of the Bahamas. Right in the middle of those other 2 gentlemen, taking in some hoops today. By the way, how about the anthem today? The Bahamian national anthem is now my favorite.
Yeah, that was a great performance.
Big Blue Bahamas. By the way, there was also a Big Blue bachelor party as part of this event the last couple of days. Those guys burned it at both ends. Let's hope they all made their flight today. So kudos to those gentlemen.
And for the poor souls that sit next to them with the fumes coming from the sleeping individual.
Let me tell you, masks on planes aren't always bad things. Challenge shot by Wheeler, just a step late to get over to Dominic Bridgewater. 22-year-old Bridgewater playing professionally in France.
This Bahama team has had Kentucky scrambling on the defensive end at times. And they played fearless. They're making the most of their opportunities when they get an opening, letting it fly.
We also had more whistles in this game than we did the first 3. John Hampton Realized he wasn't going to pick up a paycheck if he didn't blow the whistle once in the first 3 games.
And he doesn't care about my 3:15 flight either.
No, he does not. Well, I'd be ashamed if you had to stay in the Bahamas for an extra night. 0 for 2 from the line. Oscar the board. Wheeler slices all the way through. Outside, here's Reeves. It's not a good shooting afternoon for Kentucky. Cats 1 of 12 from deep.
It wasn't just the speed Wheeler got up and down the court. I believe that was 3 dribbles end to end. For the young players at home, it's not just how fast he is, but how he pushes that ball out in front, gets all the way to the rim, created the corner 3, which is usually a money shot for Reeves.
Cats are outscoring their opponents by an average of nearly 60 points a game in the first 3 games. That has been slowed dramatically. Poor shooting in the first half. Wheeler in and out, now 1 of 13 from 3.
I like that he takes that shot, though. He came around, his feet were set, he wasn't floating. He needs to shoot that with confidence.
Dealing with injuries last year and a wrist injury at the end of the season, even though he shot the ball a little bit better last few regular season games. Toppin with the pull up.
I think in that case, if it's not a wide open shooter, Tshiebwe can just take 1 dribble, do a little jump hook, keep it in the paint.
Kentucky go to the free throw line. In the bonus, it's Antonio Reeves. Great visit with Antonio post game last night. Talked about how his game has changed wearing this uniform versus where he was last year at Illinois State.
And he's a guy that could, whether he's starting or coming off the bench, but if they can get in some of these, scoring droughts, I mean, there's going to be some games this year where you say they don't win that without Antonio Reeves. He's just got that natural scoring ability to get them out of some of these shooting slumps.
Out of pocket is back rolling. Delissa Lang and Andrea Carter. Laid back interviews, lots of laughs, and the 1-hour season premiere. 1 hour. They're working hard. Wednesday, August 31st, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Here's Casey Wallace as Reeves gets a seat. By the way, we'll hear from Oscar at the half. I think it's perfect that his interview runs on Sunday. Talk a lot about his faith and the role it plays in his life and his basketball career. He said, you know, when I was leaving, off camera, he told me when I was leaving West Virginia, it was the lowest point in my life. They told me that if you leave, he said, I have people tell me if you leave, you're never going to amount to anything in your life. This is the end of the road. And so where he is now versus where he was leaving mid-season, we'll talk about that just a little bit. And he said, I don't really feel like you can reach your highest highs until you experience the lowest lows.
I mean, there's going to be plenty of National Player of the Year honors to come for many years, of course. But, I mean, his story is one that will be remembered for generations. It's so unique. Such a likable superstar, so humble.
I think the comp, especially from a national perspective, but also SEC, the comp is Tim Tebow.
Yeah, that's fair.
Coming back for another run and the role faith plays in his life and the ability to make those around him better.
And to be such a charismatic individual, yet the ultimate competitor when they take the field or court is a very unique balance.
Tim travels the country now doing speaking engagements all the time, and Oscar was talking about the opportunities that he has to preach in front of thousands of people. He's, you know, standing up there in front of 5,000 people, and I used to write everything down and worry about what I was going to say. Then God told me, well, just get up there and talk. And I said, well, what kind of experience did you have prior to that? Public speaking. None. He barely spoke the English language when he first came over here. So that'll be a fun visit. Stick around a half for that one. Xavier at the free throw line extends the Kentucky lead to 2.
Nice little mini run here by Kentucky to close out the half.
They've done it with defense. Bahamas haven't made a field goal in the last 3:46. And again, Livingston with the push. Where are these referees from? Kyle Bottoms from Boyle County. The first game of this event, this all Kentucky referee crew showed up in the locker room, and there was already a Bahamian trio of referees dressed and stretching, getting ready to take the floor, and the promoter had to say, guys, this is my event. We didn't call you. Sorry, you're not working tonight.
I wonder how that went over. Is that the end of it, or is it just like,
no,
okay, no problem?
They said, well, we're going to have to call our boss. Well, you call your boss, but he's not in charge here. That's fine. Kentuan Smith played his college ball at Stetson, now plays in Denmark. You played in Denmark, right?
Holland. How could you ever confuse the two? You don't have the Holland Seals poster?
No, I forgot that one. I left it in my childhood bedroom.
I grew up pretending to be the Bulls announcer, saying starting for your Chicago Bulls, Dane Bradshaw, and the crowd went crazy. Instead, it was starting for your Holland Seals, and the crowd went, arr, 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 doing the Seals
No,
part.
they didn't.
Yeah.
10 seconds left in the half. A pump fake and a bucket to give Bahamas the lead. Kason Wallace gives it up to Wheeler. With under a second, he got it off, and they'll count it. Wallace shared it with Wheeler, covered the rest of the court. They got the benefit of replay.
There's speed, and then there's Xavier Wheeler. He is on another level, man. That's an end-of-game type scenario.
Well, Cat's not shooting the ball well. They turn it up late in the half to take a 1-point lead. Coming up in moments to sit down with Tshiebwe to talk about his role with this Kentucky program. Blue Bahamas in the final game. And the Bahamian select team hanging with the Cats right now. That was fancy.
That was. I mean, that's like a very impressive belly flop.
I would need wider wings to get in there. Here's some highlights from the first half.
Bahamas took it at Kentucky. I mean, they showed no fear. They finished at the rim. Kentucky sloppy on the defensive end. They were getting back cut, front cut, missing box outs. But then they got some things going in transition. Jacob Toppin in particular gave him a boost, and Xavier Wheeler continued to push the tempo. So it was the veterans that were able to be the calming influence during that first half run by the Bahamas. Let's see how they come out here to start the second half. See if Kentucky can really take this thing over.
That sprint by Wheeler beat the buzzer, gave Cats the lead. John Calipari crunching the numbers. Three-point shooting has been really good this week up until the first half of this one, 1 for 13. You joined us late. This is a Bahamas select team that's got some older players on it. Guys that play professional ball, mainly overseas, and some major college players on this squad. And their experience is shown against this younger Kentucky squad. Wheeler got his hands on it. Shot clock getting late, out 5. Turned over, here's Wheeler out front. He's got help, but he'll take it himself.
He's such a talented finisher at the rim, a below the rim guy, but God, he gets over the outstretched arms, so soft off the glass.
And he comes up with a block after the recovery. Cats trying to run, 4 on 3. and a Bahamian turnover.
And a much more disciplined defensive possession there for Kentucky. Just staying in their help side, creating a little bit of an unforced turnover for the Bahamas.
Chris Livingston, the freshman, takes it all the way to the rack.
And we've used the phrase versatility a lot this week, and you're seeing it now. Damian Collins with those 3 fouls in the first half. He's not in the starting lineup, so what do? Throw Livingston at the 3 because you can move Toppin to the 4, still keep size, length, athleticism, and scoring on the court.
Tough shot over the top of Tshiebwe. As Kadeem Colby played at Wichita State on that undefeated team. 3-ball good from Toppin.
And that's where you want to find your open three-point shooter. Tshiebwe, such a good passer. Not only a great offensive rebounder, but a passer out of that opportunity.
Off-balance shot forced. Oscar lost the handle on it. And an offensive board and a putback for Bahamas. And J.R. Kadat, who played at TCU. Oscar inside. Muscles his way in.
His hands are just phenomenal. That was a really poor pass by Livingston. And Tshiebwe just picked it up like a ground ball and made a play out of it.
Stripped away. Here's Wheeler, 3. Cats just 2 for 14 from deep in this one. Pardon me, 2 for 15.
Let's take a look at Tshiebwe's hands here. I mean, this thing is just thrown at the ground. Any other big man, and that's going to be a turnover going the other way or out of bounds. And for him, he just got such composure down low, never gets in a hurry. Easy 2.
Possession now in favor of the Cats.
Now 2 for 16 from deep. Wallace. Got it.
You got to stick with it. I like the fact that they're fearless from beyond the 3. You got to have a short memory as a shooter.
Jason Wallace was a great football player in addition to basketball. It kind of has that bulldog mentality. Nice dish.
Dive.
No good on the shot, but a foul called on the play. Foul called.
Just nice ball movement here. Penetration by Wheeler. If you're open, Wheeler's going to find you, and Wallace steps up and knocks it down. See if that can't get the lid off the rim for the Wildcats.
Here's Keno Burrows, 10 years on the Bahamian national team. He played at Indiana Fort Wayne. Xavier never stops directing traffic, does he?
No, and here he's going to take the ball out of bounds and kick it to Wallace. They're just so interchangeable, whether he's the primary ball handler or not.
They'll stay with the Cats.
My only concern with Wheeler being off the ball is he's just so good when he gets that full head of steam with the ball in his hands, bringing it up and down the court, as opposed to catching it with the defense set at the three-point line. I don't know that he has as much of an advantage without the benefit of bringing the ball up the court.
Turns into a jump ball, possession error to the Bahamas.
Yeah, tough pass there by Toppin. He's got to recognize the defense was sitting on that entry pass to Tshiebwe.
This is the third big Blue Bahamas trip for Kentucky. They've only lost one game in that span. There's a 1-point lead at the half. Cats still not efficient. This 20 of 50 from the floor, 40%. Poked away. Wow, big time move and finish by their veteran Keno Burrows. It's a 5-point game. Cats getting all they can handle on the floor here at beautiful Baha Mar Resort. Final day of the Big Blue Bahamas tour. You run into him?
I was stretching, all right? I didn't know he was walking right behind me.
Marty McGee have kicked off some international incidents of their own. They'll get you set for college football with sit-downs with every SEC coach. Monday will be the East at 7:30. And Tuesday, they'll chat with the coaches in the West. Talking season starts at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central, both nights right here on the SEC Network.
All right, I'm keeping an eye out here for Kentucky's offense. With Wheeler not on the court, Wallace clearly is the one. And, of course, you've got 12 Reeves, the transfer that comes in to bring some scoring punch. See how this plus-minus can work out for Wallace without Wheeler on the court.
A little full court pickup by the Bahamas. We haven't seen that this week.
And no coincidence, when Wheeler goes out, I don't think teams even think about pressing with Wheeler's speed in the game, but they try to mix up coverages to catch Kentucky off guard.
Okay, so Wallace trying to walk it off. Damian Collins back on the floor for the Cats. You've got 2 freshmen on the floor, 3 newcomers.
With all these scoring options, and everybody's very competent on the offensive end, but I think it's really important for Kentucky not to forget about 34. I mean, get him more paint touches down low. He's a willing passer and a great finisher.
(17 and 15). Oscar that double-double, first in Power 5 to average 15+ rebounds since Bill Walton.
And the steals surprised some people, but that's a result of his great hands, his instincts. When it comes near him, that's a lot of that is just loose balls, him corralling it and finding his point guard.
Looking for Oscar inside.
Yeah, there you go.
Double came from the blind side, and Bahamas comes up with it. Wallace challenged that one. Gonna go back to the Cats. Let's see if they keep the full court pressure on.
Tshiebwe got surprised by the double team, but still a good look. I'd go right back to it and have Reeves ready in the corner to spot up. If they do it again, get your 3-point shot.
Oscar with the jump hook, and he draws the whistle.
He draws so much attention down there. Yes, he got it stolen from him on the previous possession, but there's such a great insurance policy for your offense that when things aren't going right, just dump it down there. More times than not, you're going to get a bucket or a trip to the free throw line.
Seven points, 10 boards for Oscar. A lot of accolades. Tyler Hansborough, Ralph Sampson, the only players to return to school after winning all 6 major Player of the Year honors. Only guy in the Power 5 to average more than a block and a half and a steal and a half a game.
Nobody's had a busier week than that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, with the student visa issues, as Kyle Tucker of The Athletic has reported, the NIL opportunities he's been able to do here in the Bahamas that aren't available to him in the States. has made this a week for him to truly capitalize on some of those financial opportunities, which his teammates and staff have certainly been more than supportive of.
Pulls that one down. 16 straight double-doubles last year for Oscar. Here's Reeves.
Just great body control by Reeves. Getting in the lane, under control, 2-foot finish.
And a Bahamas answer. Cal not pleased with the defensive effort. And then the turnover. Got moving a little bit fast for Wallace. Bahamas looking to slice into this lead, and an offensive foul.
Well, the Bahamas are shooting over 50% in this game, and when you talk about the length, athleticism, and suffocating defense we've seen so far in this trip from Kentucky, it just has not been there tonight. Some of that due to Kentucky's sloppiness, but I think there's a big credit to this Bahamas team that has shown no fear since this game tipped off.
Catch shooting is 41%, 3-17 from 3, 7 turnovers. Oscar passes it out of the double. Into the corner, 3 for Reeves.
And that's what we've seen now. 3 consecutive trips where Tshiebwe's gotten the ball, double teams have come. If he keeps his head up, he'll have those corner open threes all day long.
If you missed it, C.J. Frederick not available today. Plan all along that he would sit this final game as he gets back into full health. Foul at midcourt.
Yeah, C.J. Frederick clearly going to be the winner in the plus-minus category for the trip. He picked a good game. A tough call here. This aggressive double team. They say he got him on the wrist, but Kentucky was off to the races for a big-time dunk going the other way. Not so fast.
Oscar trying to bully his way to a steal there. Oh. Fancy like Applebee's.
It's not the first behind the back pass for number 2. I mean, he's got eyes in the back of his head. Nice spot up jumper.
First player from the Bahamas to go straight from high school to the pros. And the foul on the other end on Kentuan Smith.
Well, this isn't a fancy pass. It's the right pass. Just the quickest way to get it to your open shooter. And Bahamas connects.
I think we know, based on my white pants at dinner last night, that you can be fancy and right at the same time.
The white belt, the white pants. There's no question Tom Hart loves Tom Hart.
I got great taste. Tshiebwe's got a half dozen now. Loose ball. Wheeler back on the floor, couldn't find it.
Yeah, I know Wheeler's low to the ground, but you'd like to see them maybe dive on the floor for that one as opposed to reaching.
Nice lead to Oscar. Here's Reeves again. That will work.
Again, he gets so much attention down low. Everybody sucks in. Beautiful find by Tshiebwe.
Answer that time from Bridgewater. He's having a good game.
Yeah, Bridgewater gave Wheeler a little taste of his own medicine. Speed up the court.
Reeves again. Got it again!
We talked about how he could be a microwave for this team. When the team was going through scoring and shooting slumps, he might be the guy that they can rely on to get him out of that. He's certainly been that guy this afternoon.
17 points, 3 of 6 from deep. Reeves saves it. They push ahead to Toppin. Threw that one to another island. Here's Reeves again. Reeves on the move.
Bang!
3 ball. Cats Rolling timeout Bahamas. What an addition Antonio Reeves from Illinois State has been to this Kentucky offensive attack.
You talk about taking all the momentum. How about Reeves? Look how high the arc is on this shot. Well above the shot clock. And he's got Big Blue Nation in the Bahamas on their feet.
Welcome back to Paradise. Final day in the Bahamas for this Kentucky basketball team. Monday night SEC Now is back to get the preseason AP Top 25, and Marty McGee will visit with Anthony Richardson, Florida's quarterback. That's SEC Now Monday, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. I think Peter Burns is still going to have his mustache Monday.
Every day I'm hoping that thing goes away.
It should just crawl off of his lip and out the door. Antonio Reeves, last 4 possessions, has been the catalyst for Kentucky. He's drilled 4 straight threes.
Came into the game 10 of 18 from 3, and so he's been feeling it ever since he stepped on this court here in the Bahamas.
High percentage look inside for the Bahamas and Kenny Wilkinson.
And some of these breakdowns are just about getting down and guarding the ball and not requiring the help.
(70-61), Kentucky with the lead. Cats having a better second half than first.
How many championships do the Los Angeles Lakers currently have as a franchise?
Have some.
How many championships do the Los Angeles Lakers currently have as a franchise? Who is the shortest NBA player of all time? Who led the NBA in scoring during last year's regular season? Does anybody need more time? Yeah. Answer 17. Bugsy Booze. Dang it.
All right, in the spirit of a trivia contest, we thought maybe we'd put Dane on the spot. Cats have a 9-point lead right now. Dane, put on your thinking cap. Here's your trivia question. How many islands make up the Bahamas? You've got a wide range there. We give you multiple choice. What are you going with?
Hold on, let me Google. No. I'm gonna go 1.
You think there's 1 island?
Answer 1.
Answer 1. 30-60 is your guess.
Do you know? Oh.
700 islands.
I thought, of course I thought inhabited. I mean, y'all could have clarified. Jeez, everybody knows 700. Redo.
Here's Reeves feeling it. First miss in his last 5 attempts. Will re-tee. Like me on the golf course, hit them both out of bounds.
Between golf and craps blackjack, what do you think? How do you rank those experiences this week?
It's great to be here. Look, Cal's had quite a week, hadn't he?
Been eventful. Just when you think you can get away on vacation in the Bahamas, huh?
And your boss calls.
Phone just blowing up.
I tell you what, without getting into that entire soap opera, the shame is that this team is so talented and got off to such a great start, playing so well, that there's a lot to be excited about the potential for this team. It got drowned out by all the other noise.
Well, and all the positives that have been going around in the program with the money they raised for flood victims and what they've done here with Samaritan's Feet. You got this guy. You could not ask for a better face of the franchise, if you will, than Oscar Tshiebwe.
I don't know if there's a more likable person in all of sports than Oscar Tshiebwe. Cats by 11. Cats have made 6 of the last 8 from the floor. Another offensive rebound for this Bahamas team. That's their 5th.
I think that's the next step for Jacob Toppin defensively. He's such a tall player that sometimes he doesn't sit down as much as he should defensively, really lock down those perimeter players when he's having to guard an opposing guard on a switch.
It was tipped. It will stay with Kentucky. Great body control by Xavier Wheeler.
You just can't stay in front of them. When they spread the floor like that and there's nobody congesting the lane, it's over.
Wheeler tied him up, and they're calling a jump ball. It'll be Kentucky basketball.
Possession now in favor of the Cats.
Orlando Antigua coaching up Livingston.
Kenton Smith.
You hear that backseat driver again? Hey guys, I'm gonna let you be the head coach. Unless I have something to say over here.
Toppin took a spill.
There he is. Oh! Are you kidding me?
By the way, that was the call that came from Cal.
Yes. That lob had to be caught at 12 feet in the air.
Stolen away. Wheeler will give it back, and Toppin will finish with the flush. Timeout, Bahamas. So what happens when the craps table gets hot?
Yeah.
Or so I'm told.
Coach Cal barked from his perch, said, Vegas, Vegas. How about this lob? Oh! Not the first highlight for Damian Collins' trip, but maybe the best. It doesn't get much.
Well, what an effort by Collins off the feed from Wheeler. He has his ability to throw it in even when he doesn't touch the rim.
Yeah, this is the 3rd time this trip we've seen him get up so high that even when he can't reach to touch the rim, he's able to simply throw it in. And, I mean, this is a guy you just about can't throw the lob too high for. Just go get it.
Don't ever play skee ball with Damian Collins. He'll just reach for the 50 and drop it in. I suppose it helps to have a 6'7" wingspan. And a 42-inch vertical and a dunk on the other end. Keno Burrows. Reeves gets a breather. What an effort for him in the second half to really pull Kentucky away. Hit 4 consecutive threes. He's got a team high 20.
With all the production we've seen so far, the individual stars with Reeves, how well he's played, Wallace, Livingston, some of these guys may have had quieter days than others, but it's still yet to be seen what is going to be the best 5 for Kentucky throughout the course of the season. I think that could change, that answer could change game in, game out.
Collins at the rebound. Yeah, this is an interesting 5, isn't it? With Collins and Toppin, no Oscar. Livingston, the hard foul.
And we saw the turnover there by Wheeler, but yet another positive from this Kentucky team is how few turnovers they've had this trip. They've really taken care of the ball well. And yes, they're great athletes. Yes, they have terrific speed. But I look at this as a really high IQ team. They make right decisions more times than not.
Wallace lost the handle on it.
Right on cue.
Great analyst. Here's the push. And another Livingston foul. We've got some heavy legs out there, huh? Xavier Wheeler's got 19 points on 7 of 11 shooting. 4 assists.
Going to the line, shooting 2. Second to the game for the Wildcats, number 3,
Adu Thiero returns. I feel like Adu Thiero will have the opportunity to earn playing time this season, but he's going to have to be highly efficient in the minutes he gets to earn more time. The competition is just so tough.
You just got to stay ready for your opportunity. I know it sounds cliche with next man up, but we saw what happened last year with this Kentucky team. Wheeler was out for a few games. Ty Washington had injuries. Kellen Grady was fighting through issues with his feet. So you just, even if you're 9th, 10th, 11th man, you're one play away from being in the rotation.
You're going to have to go all the way back to Kentucky for that one. We don't have no Chick-fil-A.
You think we'll make it to 100 and our free conch fritters again?
I haven't gotten the free conch fritters yet. You ate them all. Wheeler is really good in that ball screen. When he gets the defender on his back, he just kind of puts on the brakes, assesses the defense, and then goes.
Houston native. Remember, he originally committed to Billy Kennedy, Texas A&M.
That's right.
Ended up playing for Tom Crean at Georgia. Talking to him the other day about the physicality of college basketball, and he said, you know, I've really felt like I got more calls on my drives when I was at Georgia than I did at Kentucky last year. And he admitted maybe it was a byproduct of the talent that he was surrounded with at Georgia versus what he's got around him on the floor here.
Well, and I think the usage rate, even though it's still high at Kentucky, at Georgia, probably even higher, to where the ball was in his hands a lot more. He was getting to the rim almost every possession, as opposed to a little bit more of an equal opportunity offense here. But he's played with some stars now. I mean, he had Anthony Edwards down at Georgia. No matter what, one and done and lottery picks are on the court, Wheeler's going to be on the court too. This is a kid whose parents met at Rucker Park. So as he says, I was born to ball.
Collins got a little aggressive trying to get it to Thiero. Now the Bahamas can run and thrown down by Kentuan Smith.
The assist from Jerome Burrows.
It's easily the most athletic team Kentucky's faced, so a nice wake-up call for them to know that they're not just going to be able to run over anybody once they get to a more athletic bunch.
Well, we know what the non-conference schedule looks like, and there's some big-time names on there. That Gonzaga game in Spokane will be a top 5 matchup, you got to presume. There's Toppin.
With Drew Timme coming back, I mean, he's got to be the top returner not named Oscar in the country. Gonzaga had Malachi Smith, terrific transfer out of UT Chattanooga.
And a SoCon Player of the Year. That'll be an interesting matchup with him and Wheeler. Toppin gets it in. Two very physical guards. Would love to get to the paint. Oscar's dancing over on the sideline waiting to come in. His team's put together another run. Cats have made 6 of their last 7. What's the difference in the Kentucky offense lately?
I think they've been getting stops, and that's led to runouts. They're sharing the ball extremely well, but I think it all goes back to Reeves with the way he was shooting the ball. Really gave them some momentum and rhythm offensively. Collins with a huge dunk.
So what we're going to do when the game ends, we are going to put 15, the players are going to be here. We're going to get you in groups of 20. So you'll come out, be behind them.
Dane, do you have time to stick around for the autograph session, or do you have a flight to catch?
You can go online to pull the picture out. So everybody will get a picture with the team.
Can't do it?
All right. So, yeah, the odds right now on me catching my flight, pretty low, pretty low.
People a chance to go, bang, you'll go, bang, and then we'll just start.
Cal even coaches up spectators.
No hugging, no selfies. We'll give you that picture. We appreciate you being here. This was a big deal for us.
Who's going to be that raises their hand and says, I have a question?
I spoke with the VIPs yesterday with Tom Leach, and we took a couple of questions for the audience. And one guy says, you know, as an outsider, would you consider Kentucky a football school or a basketball school? I dropped the mic and I ran out of the room. I know what kind of trouble people can get in.
Oh, man, I'm going to let you take that one.
What a week it's been for this Kentucky program and its fan base. Blew out the Dominican, beat Monterey Tech. Carleton, their beat writers said they hadn't been beaten like that in 2 decades.
I think they've accomplished everything they've wanted to on this trip. The Dominican Republic game they thought would be a little bit closer, and that's not because the competition was that bad. It was because Kentucky was that good. They've done the things off the court. They've bonded as a team, all the things you want to get done on these once every 4-year foreign trips. Very productive trip for this Kentucky team.
Nice spin move. Piero finds it. Nice.
Such great court vision there by Wheeler. The cross-court pass. Toppin could have taken the open 3, elected to turn it down and attack the rim.
Shooting free throws, number 0.
19 points for Toppin, 8 of 15 shooting. Cats have got the ball much better in the second half, 65% from the floor and 6 of 10 from 3. Nice finish.
Scoring the basket for the Bahamas, Dominic Bridgewater.
Bahamas have been led in scoring today by Kentuan Smith. He's got 18. Bridgewater has 12. Cats lead by 18. And we got a timeout on the floor, or do we? Or not.
Works for me.
Yeah, I bet it does. We had no more media timeouts, I'm told, so we're just going to cruise right through.
You mind if I lay out for the next 3 minutes, 35 seconds?
Let's face it, Bills. Out of Pocket is back for another run with Alyssa and Andrea. They'll take you inside the world of SEC sports, laid-back interviews, lots of laughs, and Lang's signature passion for finding the best food the SEC has to offer. 1 hour season premiere Wednesday, August 31st at 7 Eastern, 6 Central on the SEC Network.
MVP trophy to be presented later per your Twitter account.
Yeah.
This is a tough one. I think Wheeler's been phenomenal. So many guys, but I'm not sure Reeves isn't going to take this thing home.
Just talking to Cal during the timeout, and he mentioned the fact that he's so happy that this Bahamas team was physical with his interior guys and gave them a run and gave him a better feel for where this Kentucky team is versus the other three opponents.
No question. I mean, out of all 4 games, I'm sure they learned a few things from tape and film from the other 3, but this is the biggest takeaway here and something they can build upon.
Reeves gets a 2.
He's going to be hard to keep off the court for Coach Cal. I mean, he just brings so much confidence offensively, a bucket getter. And, yeah, he's going to have some slip-ups defensively, and he's going to get lost at times, and he's still learning that side of it. But the good on offense so heavily outweighs the few mistakes here and there defensively that you got to let him play through a few of those. I know some people don't like the transfer portal and what it's become, but how cool is that? Like, you're a 3-star kid, Illinois State, and now you are a key piece to a national championship contender just like that. Yeah, really cool story and opportunity. And
Oscar got bumped to the ground.
Like any team, there's going to be egos, but I don't know about you, but I haven't observed too many selfish shots, plays. I haven't seen any finger pointing. I know there was always, you know, every good team's going to have some friction inside the locker room at times, like a close family and team should. But I think this team has the DNA of a very unselfish, oriented ball club.
Like when you stayed on 16 against a face card. Yeah, that led to some friction at the table. Go with your gut, baby. You're not responsible for other players.
Go with my gut.
Do you? Rules be damned.
That's not a true story, everybody. So I usually play the craps table. So I sat at the blackjack table for the first time, and you had me take seat 1 over there. I was a little bit nervous.
Well, you're an influencer. I wanted you to influence the game. Here's Brennan Canada going to the free throw line.
First time I ever gambled, I was an 18-year-old on a cruise ship with my family, and I was doing great. I was up like $1,000. And it was like the story for the family trip. And then I was losing it all the last night. And then I learned you could charge money to your room. And the next morning, I didn't tell anybody what happened, and my older brothers, who were having a very good time, they really couldn't defend themselves when my dad was yelling at them saying, "What the heck did you charge it? It couldn't have been Dane. He's up." And I just sat there quietly. So, real confessions from the cruise ship, Dad.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
that was me.
Knows. Wallace read that one. Like the former football player he is. Got the interception. Collins got it again.
It's just a walk in the park for Collins. And he throws that thing towards the top of the glass, and Collins didn't even have to outstretch his hands for it. It gets up so high.
Collins swallowed that one up.
Well, just another highlight for Damian Collins. Nobody's had more of them this trip. And this time, Casey Wallace going to lob it up. He says, that's too easy, man. Throw it up higher.
Oscar leaving the floor. Standing ovation, the Kentucky fans. Yeah, he's having fun. A lot of high fives to give to this Kentucky support staff. It's a long bench. Shout out to the Kentucky managers, some of them playing hurt today.
Kentucky's number 14, Canada.
Canada commits the foul. Orlando Antigua with a chance to empty the bench.
So we've seen Canada get buckets in this trip. We saw Horn with essentially a buzzer beater yesterday. We got to get Watkins in the box score, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to get those fritters. Collins off the window.
Well, he's had all the highlights, as we've mentioned, but the pull-up jumpers that we've seen and the confidence in a shot like that, I think it's not something Kentucky has to rely on, but just shows that he has made such improvement to his offensive game this summer.
You got someplace to be.
Yeah. Nothing like getting on an international flight and going through customs with 50 minutes to spare.
Here's Grant Derbyshire at the free throw line. His family enjoying the trip this week. Hit that big shot a couple of games ago.
He's got the half quarter too, right?
Yeah. The end of practice. The end of shoot around game number 2. We need our fritters. We need another bucket.
You may be able to get a steal and leak out here.
Collins sends it
denied
to media row. He had a two-handed block game 1 on a sideline jump shot.
Just looks so much more comfortable on the court, and especially as a freshman, you're still raw. You're thinking too much. I don't see him thinking as much as he is just playing and reacting.
Big win, but no fritters. And a successful trip on the court for John Calipari's Wildcats this week.
Absolutely, I think they checked every box. And Kentucky fans have a lot to be excited about. You got to love your backcourt. You got to love your front court. They've shown their ability to shoot the basketball. C.J. Frederick didn't play much. They're still limiting his minutes, but that's another weapon. And then you're not even done with the roster. Onyenso is another big-time rim protector that will be joining the team this fall. So sky is the limit for this Kentucky team. And once again, they will have their eyes set and goals set on a Final Four.
Well, convincing wins for Kentucky all the way through. Oscar Tshiebwe anchoring this team that was led by Toppin and Antonio Reeves throughout the week. A lot of highlights for this Kentucky squad. Special thanks to our fantastic crew, the locals, and our crew for putting this together. For Dane Bradshaw, I'm Tom Hart. Enjoy your summer, everybody.